Today we're going to be summarizing Season 10 of House of Dragons. And I mean, it's the season finale, so you know it's going to do something crazy, and it did. So we start off the episode with Rhaenyra being pregnant. Princess Rhaenys comes with the news that the Hightowers have stolen the crown, essentially. Rhaenyra goes into labor prematurely, has a baby that is dead upon birth, and as I saw, the umbilical cord was wrapped around the neck as well. That happened. They're all sad. They go and give Rhaenyra's baby a burial by fire. As that's happening, one of the King's Guard steals the crown and brings the crown to Rhaenyra. Daemon goes ahead and crowns her. And at this point, they're trying to figure out what they should do to get the crown back. Everybody's urging Rhaenyra to go to war. They're trying to bolster their strength. And then Otto comes with the news that the prince is now the king and we should bow to them. And anybody who didn't bow initially but does now won't be punished. And he also tells Rhaenyra to bend the knee. Rhaenyra's like, hell no. But then she starts to consider it to save the Seven Kingdoms from a lot of tragedy and a lot of war. Daemon isn't having it. He's trying to get as many dragons as he can. Obviously, this side of the family has many more dragons. But there is one problem. Aemon still has Vhagar, which is the largest dragon, which is like 5 times bigger than any other dragon around. And then we have several houses that people are kind of unsure about. They're sort of wild cards, if you will. We have the Baratheon house, we have the Stark house, and there's a third one, which I can't recall. So they're trying to send crows to these houses to get their allegiance, but all the people in the council convinced Rhaenyra that it would be more convincing and quicker if dragon riders went. And her sons volunteer to go. Rhaenyra is kind of hesitant, but she sends her sons, assuming that it's a pretty safe play. They shouldn't be in any danger because all these houses have already sworn fealty. They just need to be reminded of their oaths, essentially. So Rhaenyra sends her sons to the Baratheon and the Stark house. Now, arrax and the younger son, I believe, go to the Baratheon house. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. And it's pretty stormy. He gets to the house. He's expecting a really warm reception. And it's okay. It's not that bad as far as receptions go. But Lord Baratheon isn't having it. He's like, why should I be called like a dog every time there's a war going on, and what's in it for me? Are you guys gonna marry one of my daughters? And the prince is like, no, I'm already betrothed. You're really not getting anything out of it. You swore, and now you gotta kind of follow through on that promise. So while all this is happening, Aemon comes to convince the same lord to join the Hightower family. And Aemon is still angry about his eye, and he tells the young prince that he's going to take out his eye and give it to his mother. Now, Lord Baratheon isn't having any of it. He's like, not under my roof. You boys ain't playing like that around here. And he escorts Rhaenyra's son to his dragon. The dragon is already kind of skittish because it's really thundery out, and Vhagar is looming outside the castle. Now, as the prince flies out and goes out a little way, Vhagar and Aemon follow behind. Now, Aemon is trying to intimidate the young prince. His dragon is biting behind Arrax, and he's chasing him. Now, Arrax, being a dragon, really doesn't like feeling like a prey. So, after a while of running and obeying commands, he's like, fuck this, I'm a dragon, I'm not gonna play like this. So he fires on Vhagar. Now, that was a big mistake. I know he's a dragon, but he's like a tenth the size of Vhagar. So Vhagar gets hit in the head. Vhagar gets angry and stops listening to Aemon. Aemon, I think, was just trying to scare the prince. He wasn't trying to, cause any fatal injuries. But Vhagar gets out of control. He's not listening to Aemon's commands. Aemon's screaming, trying to get him to stop, but Vhagar comes out of nowhere and chomps out Arrax. Now, by chomps out, I mean just bites him one time, crushes him, tears him apart, which was absolutely brutal, and which was something we were really expecting from the season finale. And that's how we end off. Well, actually, that's not how we end off the season. Aemon is freaked the fuck out, and as he should be, he essentially started a war because any restraint Rhaenyra was practicing is now gone. Like, her son got killed, and she was already considering going to war, but she was kind of trying to fight it. And I feel like she's gonna go Mad Queen after this, because come on, her 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 13-year-old, whatever, her young teenage son and his dragon got killed by Vhagar and Aemon, and she gets the news and she looks angry, essentially, and that's how the episode ends.